Yo, Nate, could you mute your Fortnite Love Fest?
Nate, would you like to Nate, use those headphones for the iPad. Plug the headphones into the iPad.
Yeah, the votes are coming through nice.
Hey,
Creators create. So,
yeah, what's up?
Lil Peep and xxxtentacion just released a song, huh? Tell me about it.
It's fire.
It's fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so two dead rappers, unreleased music.
I mean, I don't know if it was like they made it together, because I saw somewhere that Lil Peep always removes songs off his Spotify from all of the XXX's songs off his Spotify. So I don't know. Maybe xxxtentacion just made it himself, and then he just unreleased it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they were beefing before
No,
he
they
passed
didn't
away?
beef. I think he just didn't like his songs.
Okay, so he didn't like his music? So is this a label move where they just maybe took two unreleased verses, knowing that both rappers are dead and dead rappers tend to sell a lot of music? Did they put that together to move a couple units for both of them, or as in remembrance, or what?
Probably so.
So it was a money move. Okay, all right.
I mean, it might be.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can't confirm. I'm just opinions is what we're dropping here. You know, we don't give factual news. We're speaking opinions on this show.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, I feel like it was a money move.
Who got time for Google?
Yeah, I mean, Google is Google. You know, you can dig into Google, and the thing about the internet is you can find one thing that says eggs are good, and you can search another website and it'll tell you eggs are bad for you. So
Yeah.
you know, the internet is not really a good place for information
Yeah, I get you.
most of the time, because it's so biased depending on who wrote the article or blah,
Who
blah,
wrote
blah.
it or who gave their opinions on it?
Right, right. So that's why, you know, on the PPP show,
Boy.
you know, we just talk our opinion on things. It's not about right or wrong. It's
Yeah.
about what you feel, you know. So the current state of hip hop, is it something that you guys enjoy? Because
You grew up with like Tupac and stuff like that. I grew up with like xxxtentacion, Lil Uzi Vert. I grew up with all that. But you grew up with Tupac, Biggie, a whole bunch of other old school
the
rappers.
greats.
Yeah. Eminem.
The greats. You know, I like to expose y'all to different music as well. I listen to y'all little songs, and some of them are fire, but I like to expose you to the older music.
Because
So-
like the old Eminem is better, but now it's kind of washed up.
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, I mean, he came back with Kamikaze, so
Kind of died in a week. Though.
yeah, but that's how y'all process music. That's the problem, I think, with the younger generation, is y'all just crash out real quick. You listen to something for like a day or two or a week or two, and then it's done. You move on to the next hot song, you know? That's just, it's the microwave era. You don't really process music like you do. But nobody makes timeless music anymore, though. So I you know, for the most part. So I don't think it's 100% you guys just not loving it, but there's just some albums that just doesn't stick around for you, you know. And I think that Eminem album was one of those albums that had a lot of bars and stuff on there, but is it something you can listen to every day?
Because it's not like what we listen to now. Like, because we listen to like different music than what Eminem. Because he still kind of sings like how old rappers used to sing, and that's like not the new wave right now. So people are not gonna listen to that for too long.
Well, I mean, everybody nowadays is sounding alike anyway. So what is it, because he doesn't sound like everybody else?
Probably so. That's what I would say, because like he's not like like
melodic,
Migos
right?
or like
Yeah.
X or like Drake or like something like that.
So
He's
it's
more
not
like a old school rapper.
a lyricist.
Yeah, I guess.
So I mean, is it because
You
y'all?
can actually hear what he's saying.
Okay, so because y'all don't. Is it y'all don't enjoy lyrics, or y'all rather hear everybody rap in the same melody? That's I think the confusing part for me, because those guys still sell millions of records, and you know the mumble rappers. Besides, and I don't really consider the Migos to be 100% mumble rappers, but
Yeah, you can actually hear what they're saying most of the time.
they're still in that. You know, they kind of burst some of those styles, so
They're kind of like in the middle.
yeah,
Like actual rap and mumble rap. They're kind of like in the middle.
yeah. So
They probably have some songs like Versace, Versace, Versace. That's kind of like mumble rappy, I would say, or like trash.
yeah, that was a trash song, but I mean, it broke them, and everybody loved it because people love Versace. I would put them somewhere in the middle as well. But I have a problem with everybody sounding the same. To me, it ruins music, because when creative people come out, whether they're lyricists or creating a new style, you know,
what really
nobody really fucks with it,
What
and
really like
they're
destroyed
overshadowed.
music was the YouTubers that started making music. Remember that?
Yeah, Jake
Yeah.
Paul, Logan Paul. Yeah, well, that was. I mean, Soulja Boy started with a YouTube video,
Yeah.
and with the dance.
The Crank That?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the YouTubers and everybody starting to rap Bad Babies and fucking what is it? Well, whoa, Vicky. I love you,
no.
Vicky. You still black to me, baby. But yeah, man, those people, everybody putting their hand into the pot. What's crazy is I actually like some of Bad Baby songs though, so I'm not like knocking
first song she
what she's
released?
doing. Yeah, These Hoes is actually
yeah.
that was fire. So it's not that it's, but I don't know who wrote that shit though. Whoever wrote that, and
I think she has a ghostwriter.
yeah, she be acting like she be
She's
writing.
always like referring like a dude.
Right.
she's a
I know she probably writes some of it, but like some of that people help clean it up.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
She got like some producers come and help her
I think
out.
she's on Atlantic, but it was well
She got signed.
it was well produced, her projects and stuff like that. So I don't think she's trash. Like she's better than Yachty to me.
Yeah, Lil Yachty sounds like every time he talks is on the auto tune.
I mean, I just don't like retard music, man. Yeah. No knock to the young dude. Get your money out here, man. But I can't listen to it, man. Not for, and I've tried to go through and listen to a lot of these younger guys in the younger generation's music, but I just could never fall in love with a lot of them. Like, I like NBA Youngboy because he sings, but he raps too at the same time.
That's what X does sometimes. He like sings but raps.
X was talented.
Like
I listened to
Moonlight.
his songs.
Yeah.
I didn't. It's things that he did off of music that made me not like him. And I'm not just talking about the cases and the abuse and all the other stuff, whether it happened or it didn't happen.
I mean,
I'm talking about the stuff we seen on camera with him punching fans in the face.
Did you see the helping hand challenge that he did?
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, he did a lot.
Nice things.
He did a lot of good stuff, but sometimes the antics could take away from that. And whether he was changing his life before his death or not is I stopped following him way before that. So maybe he did, but with the Drake's mom thing and the Migos fight when you should kill me next time. And
But it wasn't
talk
the Migos. It was fake people dressed up like them. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the Migos.
Well, help clarify that because I literally stopped following him after that, so I didn't even check back in on that, man, because I thought that his antics outweighed his talent sometimes, because it's just like this new generation of trolling and things like that. What happens is
trash rappers like 6ix9ine and stuff like that.
Yeah, but people like him don't live comfortable either, though. Like he has to have protection everywhere he goes. He can't move amongst the people. I think X thought he could move amongst the people and just continue to be a regular cat when he was bigger than that at that point. I don't think his superstardom, maybe it hadn't even soaked in yet because he just wanted to be a regular person. The reason things like that happen to people like him is because I know artists, Scarface, the Bun B's. I've seen Lil Kiki late night piece and chain at the store. I've seen Screw late night, all this jewelry on. Like I've seen people move without security, but those people were respected. They weren't on the internet trolling. They weren't. You can lose people like that. And and he wasn't like a super flosser either. So I'm not gonna say he was one of the money phone people, that the black youngster showing off bread. Like, but I know youngster moves. I know how he moves. So he's respected in that way because people know he moves like that. With X, I don't think people knew that he moved like that. So when they came and tested him, it just ended up going the wrong way for him. So back to my point of the trolling and separating your superstardom away from the antics is very important for me. So, I never really gave his music a fair shot because of that, though. And there's a lot of people, that does the trolling stuff. Like I refuse to listen to a 6ix9ine song because of that, and not
Blicky on a sicky.
Yeah, and the one that I heard, I listened to Gomo like a minute of it. The song's probably only 2 minutes because that's all we get nowadays anyway.
Yeah, short songs.
But I listened to it and I was like, it kind of sounded like Onyx. I was a Onyx fan, but not like a big Onyx fan. So
he just kind of screams too much. Kind of just hurts my ears. Really.
Exactly. That's my whole point. That's my whole point with him is like he makes pretty decent stuff as well, but because he's such a freaking jerk, like it's hard for me to accept him seriously in rap. And then he just comes for too many people, and I hate to see anything bad happen to anybody young, but he's one of those people when it happens you just kind of shrug your shoulders like, well,
he was beefing with Meek Mill, and then he went on like some talk show or podcast and said, yeah, I would definitely do a cover. Like he's just trolling.
Right, and that's his whole thing. Like that's all his whole MO is to troll.
Yeah.
And I mean, at this point, it's boring. It's dying out. Thankfully, when he got kidnapped, nothing bad happened to him. But then he's the type of person that when he got kidnapped, nobody really believed him anyway. Like we'd have to physically see him get kidnapped and beat before we believe him because he's the boy who cried wolf. He trolls so much that when something bad happens to you, you're kind of like,
I don't think that actually happened.
So you don't think he was kidnapped?
I mean, I do think he was kidnapped. Like I was just saying, like trying to help you phrase whatever you're trying to say.
Yeah, but
like everybody just thinks like, I don't think he got kidnapped.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Yeah. Well, a lot of people did believe that. They're like, nah, we don't know if it's real or not, and that's sad that if something messed up like that happened to you, that's like if like Lord forbid you saw RP 6ix9ine on your timeline, you'd be like, man, is this nigga really dead? Like, you wouldn't even instead of expressing sympathy, you'd have to go do your research and dig deep and I know it would be like that. A lot of people would be like, man, I thought it was bullshit because he plays around so much,
The reason why a lot of people didn't believe that X was dead because he trolled one time. Like,
with the video when he did the clip with him hanging himself. Yeah. All the rappers that wish for death end up dying. That's why I wish NBA YoungBoy would stop rapping about that because, people should want to live. X talked about death a lot in interviews, music. Pac did, Biggie, of course, Ready to Die, Born to Die, all that good stuff. They kind of walked that line. Shit, even Big Pun rapped about being overweight and having a heart attack. Then he loses 100 pounds and he still has a heart attack. So, when you talk about it, man, it'll come into fruition sometimes. So, that's why I don't really get into depressed rappers and that depressed bag of music because it's just like for a long it brings you down for one when you listen to it. It doesn't really, I don't know how it helps anybody with depression, but that's neither here nor there for me to tell you how to heal. But me personally, I don't like to listen to depressed music when I'm depressed. Like that would just drive you nuts, so.
But it's like a sad beat, but it's like a not so sad song. I want to say like Moonlight kind of has like a sad beat.
Yeah, but that video's man.
Yeah, it has like the same outfit that he died with.
Yeah,
Louis Vuitton.
see, and that's what I'm saying. Like even those last 2 videos were kind of eerie.
The Gekumi or whatever.
And the sad when he, you know, at his own funeral and he killed the old him, and I'm telling you, man, I understand the rebirth and what he was trying to do artistically. But when you dibble and dabble in that bag, man, that it comes back around when you kind of dance on death's doorstep like that, you know. And like I said, that's the reason why I not necessarily listen to super positive music, but I like to walk a thin. Even when I make music, I like to walk a thin line when you start talking about that, because I mean it will come back around to you, man. But yeah. So, other than that,
I don't even know why they killed it, so I really don't know. Did they say?
Well, it's.
Unless they're probably like.
Well, the thing is, the circles are so small and tight, right?
Yeah.
Through my Instagram investigation, you know, the tattoo dude Chucky, he actually used to do tats for a lot of people. And he ended up doing tats for like Kodak Black and that circle of his friends. Now, through other mutual people, they were kind of, I'm not going to say they were friends, but they knew of and knew each other. That's why I think when they walked in there and they showed the footage, X looked at him like he saw him. Like, but then he just went back to the dude talking to try to buy the bike or whatever the hell was going on with that transaction. So he looked at him, and when he looked at him, it's this look like he either knew they were like the jackers, the robbers, or somebody. It's like he knew. And I take it, did you watch the video of his death? Because I mean, you can see why they shot him.
His car, yeah, I saw that.
Well, they shot him because he didn't come up off that $50,000.
Bro, he could have easily made that off a song, bro.
I know, but that dude had no fear of death. And people who have no fear of death, they're like, we're not giving it to you. You know, I've been in situations before with, you know, Uncle Sayid and E and people pulling AR-15s out on us.
Yeah.
And man, I hopped out the car and ran. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, we had no strap. Like, I hopped out the car. I was on the passenger side in the back seat, and I hopped out the car and I bailed, man. Like, I ran, and we were cornered in these apartments, and I knocked on the door. I was gonna kick the door in, run through the back door, and run out of the front door once those shots start firing. Because, you know, my biggest thing was not the dying, but, you know, I just didn't want to disappoint my mama, because she always was on my ass about, you know, hanging with these people or doing these things in the street. So I fucking was gonna kick this door down. And you know, the guy hops out, and, you know, I hear E and Sayid like, "Well, fuck you, pussy, pull the trigger." Like, you know, they're really going off.
And you gone.
No, I walked back around the corner, and when I walked back around the corner, the guy threw the gun back. You know, but I had my hands up because I knew it's a white man. I knew the temperature. I knew the temperature though, but he had this big scope on his AR-15, so I threw my hands in the air, and I'm like, you know, looking at him like, bro, I ain't got no weapon, but I can see in the scope, and it's like right on my head, so I'm like, damn, that's headshot. Then he swings it back the other way, and he's like 3 feet away from everybody else with this gun to their head, and they're just like, man, give me a cigarette. Fuck you, pussy. You ain't gonna do nothing. Like, that dude was not afraid of death at all. Like, some of the most gangster shit I ever seen in my life, because I was like, damn. But he's like, man, at that point, you know, he had me cornered in. He was like, I feel you belling, because, you know, you had the opportunity to, but the way he rode up on me and E being on that side of the car, you know, he already had the gun to my head. So, you know what I'm saying? And nothing, I can't run. Shit, he got a scope on there. If he wanted to kill me, he can kill me. So, I mean, some people just don't fear death like that, to come up off things easily, or to be weary and scary of anything, man. They're just like, fuck it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. He came across as a dude like that. Even before we saw the video, a lot of people speculated that he was he probably died that way. That he probably was not. He was resistant. He wasn't coming up off of the money, and he probably was like, "Fuck you, shoot me." And you know, that's exactly what happened. I don't understand it because it was only $50,000. You just signed a $6 million record deal, some crazy shit like that. Like,
gave him the 50, made another song.
Yeah, I mean, just take you
about the encounter, and then could have made like a lot of money, like a couple $100,000 or $1 million off that one song.
True. Sometimes you just got to take the L on that and not be
resistant.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it, man. It's just money. You can come back harder. Nobody really cares. You wouldn't lose any clout tokens out here, as you young kids like to call it.
I mean,
no, it wouldn't have, because you're. I mean, literally, you're squared in. You know, and there's nothing you can do about that. But to some people, pride is everything, and I guess that was the point of me even sharing my story. Like, my guys were just prideful like that. They were like, all right, well, do what you got to do. You know, I don't really walk that line like that. I've never been robbed before, so I can't really talk about that situation. I had a couple attempted, but, I was always on top of people trying to come at me that way. So I was always on this defensive side of calling them out before it happened. And, of course, I had the strap, so it wasn't a big deal for me to, to take care of my business. So I've never been robbed. Knock on wood for that, but
yeah,
I'm super paranoid about people and situations and not giving people the opportunity to corner me anymore. You know, so I think if you move like that, then you could be, on the positive side of those things, or you could be the person behind the gun, not in front of it. So. Yeah, sad situation. Prayers to the family, man. And
he got what's his name? Bald dude, forgot his name. That one rapper, forgot his name. He was doing some freestyle rap or something, and his ex's mom was in the crowd.
Oh, Vince Mensa. Yeah, but he's trash. Nobody listens to him.
Yeah, he's some clout.
Yeah, it's clout chasing, but at what expense,
Yeah, you can't talk about a dead person like that.
That's what Joe Budden was saying, and he was really upset about that, because that's why when Flex was talking about Pac, all Pac fans started coming from him, and he had to retract that shit, because it's kind of like, man, you wasn't saying any of that when Pac was alive, and X and Mensa had a little something going on, but he's an abuser himself, so
I know, yeah. He was
that's why I'm like, nigga, if you beating people, you beating up, women out here, you can't be the advocate to tell me to stop doing it, or I'm wrong for doing it when I did it. Yeah, he rapped about choking his girlfriend in a song, so it's like you can't be the advocate. You're a fucking hypocrite right now. Like,
he is a hypocrite.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't
trying to act like he's the victim of it, but he wasn't. Exactly,
and that's why I'm like, dude, chill, man. Like, you were
like, take it easy.
X at one point. You probably was young, and we've all been pushed past things that we didn't want to do and we're not proud of. So, I'm not saying what he's saying is not right. Like, be an advocate for domestic violence, but don't slam somebody at the same time when you was out here sticking your foot in the water too. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, well, I think this is it for this topic, and we'll be back after the commercial break. All right, bye.